Has the woke culture that gets offended over literally everything these days come to kill comedy in Canada? I'm Drea Humphrey with Rebel News, standing on site at the Bennett in Port Coquitlam because a fringe-tastic Freedom Christmas comedy show is about to go down here. I'm going to catch some of the jokes for you and then talk to some of the comedians about how they've been affected by wokeness when it comes to trying to put a smile on people's faces. If you appreciate that Rebel News brings you the other side of the story to state-backed legacy media and does not take a penny from the Liberal government, like over 95% of the media sources you hear from in Canada, please consider donating to support our independent journalism by going to rebelnews.com. Let's see if they're funny.
And honestly, I don't think we should be celebrating Christmas in Canada for one reason. Christmas is the day that should go down in infamy here. It's the day, if you didn't know, that Justin Trudeau was born. Yeah, Justin Trudeau was born on Christmas Day. In fact, they re-released the Bonnie M song about it. Long time ago in Ottawa, so the Liberal media say, Trudeau's boy child, Justin, was born on Christmas Day. Hark now, hear the demons sing, a prick was born today. And Canadians are screwed forevermore because of Christmas Day.
Why did you start to do freedom comedy shows?
Honestly, I found myself to be very rejected by the regular comedy community. I found them to be really woke and unaccepting of a lot of my views. And then once I found the freedom community, I realized that they were a lot more accepting and they actually found the same things that I thought were funny to be hilarious. Unfortunately, a lot of venues haven't felt the same way.
You've heard of Anthony Fauci, Dr. Tim and Trudeau. They want to stick you with poison to increase their cash flow. But do you recall the biggest puppet of it all? It's Bonnie Henry, the red-faced liar, had a very pointy nose. And if you heard her speeches, you might even think it grows. All of the other sheeple, they put on their masks real tight. They set their PVRs, watch her updates every night.
Dale, this is your first comedy show, and
It's the first comedy show, yes?
you had quite the jingles there. What inspired you to make a jingle about Dr. Bonnie Henry, our public health officer here in BC?
Well, I'm not a big, huge fan of Bonnie Henry. I feel that she stretched many truths and quite frankly told the lies. And, well, I'm not very happy, especially because my mother-in-law ended up dying because of that. And she believed Bonnie Henry, and unfortunately, she ended up going to the hospital. I ended up playing at her bedside as she died, actually. Yeah, I performed Bonnie Henry, the red-faced liar, and NDP equals rather enjoyed that. She actually got permission from Surrey Memorial Hospital for me to go in and do that right in the middle of the ward. The nurses thought it was funny, too.
I'm sorry to hear that in BC, a lot of people, depending on their vaccination status, still can't get in to see their loved ones in certain settings. It's horrible. We have our own pandemic out here in this province.
I actually lied to get into the hospital.
It's horrible.
Canadians want to see their Prime Minister. And so I came all the way out to the Bennett because it's great here in Port Coquitlam. Let's have a hand for the staff. Okay, so let's have some questions around the room here. Do we have any questions for me as Prime Minister? When will I resign? Unfortunately, I started this job kind of young, and I feel I'm just gonna keep doing it because it fits what Canadians need to be there for one another. And we will continue to facilitate green jobs, economic prosperity, fiscal responsibility. These are things that mean something to Canadians. Any other questions? Who's my daddy? Well, who's my daddy is, of course, Pierre, and he wouldn't approve of you all being horse playing around and being lively and loud. Security, could you please address this man?
So you're in the entertainment business. How has that, the last couple of years with COVID-19, affected you?
Pretty bad, because a lot of things were shut down. A lot of entertainment things or anything musicians do got canceled. And even the teaching changed because it became Zoom. And then some students didn't really want to do that. So then that went down. But we had some more spare time. And so I discovered some of the things like comedy and maybe even Trudeau's voice. I discovered it in that time period. So maybe some good things came out of it.
That's right. He's quite the pianist, in case you didn't know. Maybe you can tell them yourself.
Yeah, I have 16 albums out, and 7 of them are Juno nominated. So, yeah, I'm good at that. But I do like the larger audience that I get from comedy, because it's many more thousands of people that I get for that on YouTube than I do for music.
And I said, well, I'm from Canada. He goes, Canada? Where is Canada? I said, well, Canada, it's right beside America. He goes, America, I don't care about America. I want to know where Canada is. I said, fine, Canada. It's right beside Surrey. He said, Surrey? Why did you say so? I know where Surrey is.
How are you guys navigating what jokes you can and cannot say with everything being so offensive nowadays?
I have come to the conclusion that if I get canceled, it happens. It's funny, the people who usually call me anti-Semitic or a Nazi are usually bothered by the fact that I'm joking about myself being Jewish, which I would then think is actually being hateful themselves. But it seems like that's just how things are these days, so...
Well, I remember growing up, my parents and us would laugh over, Archie Bunker and the Jeffersons going at it and making racial jokes. And then there was Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. But you're right, race is such a touchy subject. You can't dare make fun of it anymore. Now, you said that you've had some hard times with other comedians and maybe even a venue that recently happened. You don't have to go into much detail, but what was that all about?
Basically, we had a venue that we had sold out multiple times in a row, and people had already pre-booked it for this occasion that we had to find a late booking for. I had to call about 20 venues to find the one that was actually willing to accept Freedom people. The last one basically rejected us. They kicked me and my disabled 72-year-old mother and her walker out, because we came in to see an Elvis show, and basically the bartender said that she was horribly offended by me, despite the fact that the same venue holds strip shows and that all of the people that work there are ex-strippers, that most of the people there, they overserve, but despite that, they still find it really offensive that we joke about ourselves and that we're freedom-oriented.
Why the mask?
Why the mask? Well, it's my persona when I'm doing comedy shows. See, I'm actually a serious musician. I don't really want anyone to know who Soggy Bob is. So Soggy Bob, we'll do Soggy Bob and Soggy Bob only.
All right, and last question for you. You're stepping into the comedy realm. I'm assuming from some of the things that you're going through. But right now, everything is offensive, it seems like, with the woke culture going on. How are you going to navigate through that?
Oh, I don't worry about that at all. I can't be canceled. I'm self-sufficient. I don't need the government for anything. I grow my own food. Government can't cancel me.
A couple years ago, I would have been too afraid to just do what I'm doing now. But then because I've been a little bit canceled and in trouble for, speaking out, then I care less now. Because when when you're just speaking your truth, and you get all canceled, you just start going, wait a minute, this is weird. I don't want to live in a world where I have to pretend to be lie. So then I just stopped caring as much, and that allowed me to just kind of let go a little bit more. I still am somewhat careful. Like I don't go totally crazy, but I kind of ride that edge where I've noticed even some liberal friends have enjoyed my Trudeau impersonation. So
Well, it was a hit tonight, and I guess it's the already canceled that gets you through it. Thanks.
thank you.
Well, it looks like these pro-freedom comedians are still putting laughter on people's faces. If you appreciate this report, make sure you keep in touch with us so you don't miss our upcoming reports. You can go to rebelnews.com and give us your email there. And while you're there, you can slip out over to the donate button and chip in a few bucks to help us keep the lights on and bringing you more reports. I'm Drea Humphrey for Rebel News.